You're listening to She's the Business podcast. And if this is the year that you promised yourself that you're going to get your side hustle out of the slow lane, out of first gear, and actually turn it into your main gig so you can quit your job for good and just focus on your business full time, then this episode has been created just for you. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. It's coming right up. Hi, I'm Jessica Osborne, your host, and really glad to have you with me today. I'm a marketing strategist and business coach. I've done 25 years, actually a bit more right now, since my very first marketing job, building businesses, brands across the globe. And for the last 15 years, I've been running my own 2 small businesses. I now specialize in strategy for online businesses selling expertise, such as coaches, consultants, therapists, people who really help others to find a transformation or create a transformation in their life. And in doing so, obviously making a huge impact in the world. Just love that. Now, I created this podcast to amplify other women's voices in business, for us to be able to hear of other real stories from actual people who aren't the top gurus in the world. They're not the multi-million dollar businesses out there, but real women just like you and I who have been professionals, who've been an employee, who've held those jobs and then have turned to entrepreneurship to create something different and special for themselves. This podcast is a mix of proven strategies, mindset shifts, health, wealth, wellness, spirituality, energetics. Really, there's everything that you need as the leader of your own business to succeed in this crazy wild ride that we're on. Made by women for women, this is really your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. There are 3 critical steps, I think, that really begin this transition for you when you take your side hustle and turn it into your main gig. Now, over the last 9 years that I've been coaching other female entrepreneurs, I've helped many of my clients to do exactly this. So I'm speaking here from experience. I also was that person. I had my first business for 8 years while I worked a full-time, very, very high-powered, high-intensity, high-stress corporate job. And I not only had that business survive with me as a side hustle, but I grew it to the point that it was actually a valuable asset that I was able to sell when I decided to focus full-time on this business. So I'm bringing together a lot of insight, a lot of lessons and learnings, not only from myself, but then also from clients who I've helped come in, make some tweaks and adjustments to their business so that they literally are like, wow, I've got more work coming in than what I need. I'm now able to safely resign from that job for once and for all and just focus full time. I say full time, not meaning you have to work 40 hours a week. Full time for you might be 15 hours. For one of my clients, it was 10 hours a week. That was like, that's all I want to be working, because she had all these other priorities with her children. So when I say focus on your business full time, I mean focus on just the business as your only source of earnings and income, maybe outside of other investments that you may have. And of course, that's entirely up to you. I'm not going to start talking about investments today. So let's get into it. What are these first 3 steps? Well, the very first one, I think the most important, because if you hold on to this and you don't take this step that I'm about to tell you about, then it really doesn't matter what you try to do. Some people try to grow their side hustle by, suddenly throwing a whole lot of money into ads. Other people try to grow it by hiring people because, you're stretched for time. If you're working a job and trying to run a business, time is your most valuable asset. And it's not that, right? I have also made that mistake before where I actually hired too early. And I ended up with a business that was spending far more in the back end than what it needed to be, and wasn't generating enough revenue and profit in the front end. So we don't want to get into that too early. There are definitely very critical places where you do want to make hires, and I am 100% advocating that you do build a team to support you, but it is at the right time, right? We introduce those people and those roles at the best time for you and the business. Now, I've been beating around the bush here, so I'm going to get to the point. The first step is actually to swap your thinking about your side hustle. So right from this moment, right now, I want you to decide that you're never going to call it a side hustle ever again. If you truly intend for this business to be your main gig, to be the business that you run, then right now you don't have a side hustle, you have a side job. Maybe you work in it full time, that's irrelevant. The fact is, it is not your main thing because your goal is the business. And as soon as you make that commitment to yourself, that this isn't just a test, this isn't just a little project to see, well, can I make this work or not? Where you kind of one toe in, one toe out, or maybe 1 foot in the water and one still firmly planted in the old world of the employee life, the job that you hold, while you are still attached to that and you're still firmly on that, then it's going to be very, very hard for you to grow your business. Why? Because it's your perception creates your reality. While you're thinking you have a side hustle, you've got something small, a small business, my little thing that I'm doing on the side, all of that language that's around it, it equals small thinking, small decisions. So think about that for a moment, the decisions that you're making. Are you making the sort of decisions you would make if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that your business was 110% reality, that it was happening, that you're going to reach your goal, there is no risk that it would happen? If you knew that without a doubt, what do you think the last few decisions that you made in your business would look like? How would they be different? What would you be investing in right now? What would you say yes to without any fear, without that hesitation, without that, oh, I don't know, am I doing the right thing or not? And yeah, I'm sure that as you reflect on that for a moment, you're going to be thinking, they would be quite different decisions. If you knew for sure that this was going to work out, you would be very different. So the thing is, right, anything is possible. The only reason why businesses fail is simply that the person gives up. They decide, that's it, I'm quitting, this is too hard, it's too much. For whatever reason, maybe it's too tight, you run out of funds. But these are all examples of just really poorly executed strategy. Now, I saw someone complaining the other day on Threads, oh, I hate the word strategy. And it's like, if you hate the word strategy, my love, you're in the wrong space. Business is all about strategy. If you don't have a strategy, you've got nothing. You're literally just dabbling. So you want to remain a dabbler. You want to remain someone who's just dabbling in business. Maybe it's actually more like a hobby because it's costing you more money than it's making you. Then continue to think small, continue to call it a side hustle, continue to dabble, and that's what it will be until you decide to quit and you get a new hobby. Or it's like, well, I'm over that now. The buzz is gone and I'm going to turn to the next thing. There are people out there who are serial, as in they do this multiple times, hop from one thing to another. It's like, oh, I'm interested in this. And now I give it 3 months and then they're interested in something else and then something else. It's like, if you keep on starting, then you're just going back to square one every single time. Now, if you really are serious about this business and you're like, no, this is actually what I want to do. And maybe you're in a place where it's like, you need the job right now because the job is funding your life. It's funding the business. Great. That's a great place to be in. You definitely want to have income, right? You want to have a flow coming in. There's nothing wrong with that. So all I'm asking you to do is not to change it. We're not quitting today. Absolutely not. That would be very irresponsible. It's changing your thinking about it. Your business is your main gig. Your job, that's your side job. You now have a side job. Congratulations. Well done. Now your side job is what is going to be funding you just until you need it. And once you don't need it anymore, then you can say sayonara to that side job and you're going to be able to continue with what you're doing. So this is a really critical phase in your business because We don't want it to be really long. We actually want that to be a short amount of time, but you also want to be creating a business that's not just like, oh, I tried something and it worked, hooray, now it's all going to be rosy forevermore. We all know businesses go through ups and downs. Like the journey is not a straight line. It's not linear. There will be these bumps. And while you've got that security of the job, that's fantastic. It means that you can build this, you can test some things out. You can take a bit of more, you can be braver. You can probably be braver without so much fear because you have your side job that is supporting your business for now and supporting you, which is fabulous. We all want to be supported. So that's the first thing. Hey, do you know the main difference between the top coaches, thought leaders, and experts and everyone else? Well, maybe we could ask the question, like, how did they become the sought after expert in their area? Well, let me tell you, it's not big advertising budgets. It's not some secret funnel or social media hack that they're doing that no one else knows about. And it's not a big audience or doing PR. Yes, they may do those things. They might have a big budget now and a big audience and have PR, but that's not the reason why they became the sought after expert. What they did that no one else has done to that same level is that they got laser focused on their area of specialization. They got radically clear about it. They became bold. They claimed their space and they stood in it. They talked about it. They didn't try to go broad. They didn't try to serve all of the people. And even though you may look at them now and think, but they do now, they didn't when they started, when they began, when they first got to their first 100K, 200K, even probably 1 million, they were laser focused in one area. So if you're tired of being just another voice in the crowd, another person who's struggling to be seen and heard because, let's face it, it's crowded out there, then the best thing that you can do for your business is to zone in on your area of expertise. What makes you unique, special? What is the difference that you bring that can make you stand apart from others? And it's not in your service offering, by the way. That's where a lot of people try to do it. They try to just offer something different. That's not it, because it turns into a pricing decision in that case. I'm talking about your positioning in the market. If you're not positioned as the go-to expert, then you'll never be seen as the go-to expert. You'll never become the sought-after expert who has a wait list full of people lining up to work with you. So how do you do it? What is that? Well, I've developed a framework that has helped so many coaches, consultants, and service providers who've come into my world to create their own category, to literally create a space in their niche where they stand out, where they shine. And I've now made it available to you as a standalone program. It's literally just 7 days. I call it the Niche Buster because this is where you come in and by the end of just 7 days, you have your breakthrough niche, meaning this is the niche that is the perfect fit for you, perfect fit for where you want to be with your business in the market and for your own ideal clients. There is no carbon copy of anyone else going on. This is literally the one that has been custom made, tailored for you and your business. Right now, I'm offering you a crazy 75% off that program, but it's not for long. It's only literally going to close really soon. So jump over to the link in the show notes here. Scroll down, click on the link for the Niche Buster program. Go through, claim that 75%, and then you can enroll. You will have access to this. This is a lifetime access program, but I encourage you not to wait a lifetime before you do it. It's only 7 days. It is so short. One little piece each day. You can fit it in and around your busy schedule. It's been designed that way so that you can get it in, get it done, and within 1 week, from now, if you do this right now, in a week's time, you're going to be in a totally different zone for your business. How exciting is that? Let's get into it, get started, and I can't wait to hear how you get on. And now let's get back to the episode. Little piece to the thinking about it as a side job. Now that your business is your business, It's not a little thing. It's not a little piece on the side anymore. I also want you to stop treating yourself as an employee. Okay? You're the owner. You are the founder of a business. You haven't just created a job for yourself. A business is not a job where you pay yourself. A business is actually something that generates revenue, and it pays you for sure, but it generates revenue. That is its primary function. Okay. So it's not a job. And the more that you can disconnect from your perspective of the employee, and I know this is hard, trust me, it took years and years and years, and I'm probably still unraveling parts of it because, hey, I spent over 20 years in that corporate role, and that's going to take a long time to unwind a lot of that learning, that culture. And even more before that, obviously, I had jobs when I was a teenager and a young kid growing up. So when you think about it, there's a lot of just programming that's gone in, and it will feel like a fact. It'll feel like this is just how it is. This is the truth. But while we are attached to that employee thinking, it is going to keep holding you in this side hustle. So I've done whole other episodes on ditching the employee thinking. Maybe I'll do another one very soon. That is an episode on its own. So I'm just going to say to you now, you are a business owner with a side job. You're not an employee. You're not even an employee of your own business, right? You are the leader of your business. Your business is what makes the money, not you. And when it is functioning really well, when you've got a good strategy in place, your business will pay you because it's making profit. So it actually doesn't need to be paying you right now, as we just talked about. That's what the side job's for, right? The side job's paying you. The business is like, invest in the business so that you create a profitable foundation in which you can grow from. Far too many people expect the business to pay them from day one, just like a job does. You start working, you start racking up the hours and you get a paycheck. Well, that is not what happens when you build a business. So we just need to delete that out of your expectation, out of your thinking around what a business is right now. Because as long as you're expecting it to do that, you're placing so many restrictions on it. You're placing a whole lot of expectation on it as well. And it will probably cause you to make some decisions that really aren't for the best of the long-term life of a business. While you are thinking about it like it has to pay me now, you're basically looking, how can I get someone to pay me? That's like you're creating a job for yourself. And when you create a job for yourself, it has those same limitations that you have with a job. So why bother? You've already got a job. That's great. You're just creating another job. Now you're doing two jobs. We don't want to do that. We want to create a business that makes money for you when you're not working, as well as when you're working. So that is what I'll leave you with today, just to mull over for a little bit. Have you created just a second job for yourself? And right now, are you stuck in this side hustle because that's all you've been thinking about it as? Today, you're getting this chance, and I invite you to decide to step into a place of the business owner who's not an employee, who's actually the leader of a business, who's got a vision, who's got something that you're creating, which is far bigger than just paying you on a weekly basis. So let's move into step 2, because again, it's very related, but you must do step 1 first. If we try to do steps 2 and 3 before you've done step 1, then they're not going to work very well. You're going to still be so limited in your thinking, and that limits the outcome and the decision. So the second step to take your side hustle, turn it into your main gig, is that you've got to make a decision right now. I ask you to make the decision, but the process of doing this may take a little time. You're going to be brave about stepping into your own space. And that means you're going to be okay with stepping away from the known safety of a niche someone else created, of the market everyone else is playing in, following what everybody else is doing, basically being one of the thousands of sheep in the online crowd doing the same thing. There is no such thing as a cookie cutter success system. It is really about you. And if you want to make this business your main gig, where it's not a job, it actually turns into a money machine, it turns into a revenue creator that enables you to buy things, hire people, pay for stuff that generates other people's income. Think of the ripple effects of you growing your business. It is insane how much you can impact the world around you when you grow. When we want to do that, then it is going to take stepping out of that same space where the masses of the crowd are. If you're, think about for a minute when you go to a concert and there's just like, there are the masses in the general admission. And then you look up and there's a few special boxes where people have paid a hell of a lot more money to be in, for sure. But they are different. They've got a different view, a different perspective. They're having a different experience. Sure, they're at the same concert, but it's not the same. And this is what you can do. Think about it like that. You're going to create your own space that you can step into where, hey, now all of a sudden, it's not only somewhere where you can be seen without having to be the loudest or the brashest or whatever. It's actually just because you've stepped away from the crowd. Now you're in a space people can see you. And you do that, and it takes bravery. It does. It takes commitment from you and the decision that, hey, I'm sick of being here in the crowd, in the slow lanes, moving slow, because you know what happens when you're in a crowd. You can only move at the pace of the crowd, following what everyone else is doing all of the same stuff. Well, it's just going to keep giving you more of the same results. So it is a step of bravery. And this is something that, when in my programs, when my clients come and work with me, I call it finding your expert zone. When you define that, it's not just about what you do. It's like, what space of the market are you in? Where is that place that is yours? And you can, with conviction, really own it. Like, you can speak about it. Doesn't mean that maybe you're the only person in the whole planet who does it. Like, that's probably very unrealistic in this day and age because there's so many people, but maybe. I did have a client once. She was trying to figure out what her strategy was, how to position herself, because she had all these different skills. It seemed to her like each one of them would be a separate business. And so she was really stuck in that first gear. I know I use that analogy, but it feels like you're grinding away, trying to get something moving, and you're just not going very fast. And through this process that I took her through, we realized, wow, even though these things are and could be separate businesses and other people specialize in each one of them alone, she is in a very unique place of actually being able to combine them. And so for her unique space was actually stepping into a place where all of them layered together became its own category. It actually became something totally unique that nobody else offered. So often we talk about niching down as getting more specific, like going more narrow on one thing. But in this case, for her, it was really niching up. It was amalgamating all of her specializations and creating a category that didn't exist before. Wow. And that just blew her mind. Now, we've done that. I've actually had multiple clients who've done this. And when I think about just, it gives me like tingles on my cheeks when I think about it. But when you think about the power of creating something that actually doesn't exist right now, that is where visibility comes from. That is where recognition comes from. That's where people go, wow, I've been looking for something like this, but I haven't known which of these different types of people to go to. You're actually combining all of the things I'm looking for, which is great. And it's not by the way, we're not talking about, wow, you've suddenly got a huge suite of different services. No, that's not what we do. I'm going to get onto the offer in a minute. It's like combining it together to create a very specialized, almost custom offering that your clients are going to benefit from. But they're going to benefit from the holistic piece of it, not from a piece here and a piece over there. Does that make sense? I hope so. It does to me. I hope it makes sense to you as well. I know that if you're somebody who is multi-talented, multi-passionate, a lot of my clients are, you have this same challenge. I know that was me when I started this business. I'd spent 20 years in marketing communications. I'd literally done every little part of it. So whether it was events, PR, whether it was digital marketing, email, advertising, online advertising, like the whole works, right? I'd done it all. I'd also risen up to the point where I was leading the entire department. And I thought, what should I specialize in when I started my business? And I was lost for a good couple of weeks, I think. mulling it over, thinking about it, what part of it do I really like and what's my zone? And what I realized was my specialization was being able to combine all of this stuff, right? It was the combination. So I specialized in a different way. I specialized not by drilling down into one specific tiny part of my expertise, but in what I did and how I combined this and who I was going to help. And the specific part for me was far more about the who and what the goal was, what I'm going to help them to do, than it was about what I was doing. Does that make sense? I hope so. That gives you some examples to have a think about. So we've talked about the first 2 steps. Now the third step, and hopefully this feels very natural. Now that we've done that, we've stepped into our own space, we know what it is that you're doing and who you're there to help and why, where it is that they're going, you've got the offer that matches. Now, when we go from side hustle to main gig, it's actually thinking about your offer in a different way. Most people are thinking, how can I sell something, or how can I create something people will pay me to do? Which is that employee thinking for you. Like, what is a job I can do for someone? How can I be paid for an hour of my time or whatever? All employee thinking. So we're going to bin that because that's the way employees think. And you know what happens? You get to the capacity ceiling where it's like, oh, I can't actually earn anymore because there's not more of me to go around. What you're going to do is think about an offer that actually is aligned to this new space you've created for yourself in the market. Like, what does it actually look like? How are you going to support your person from where they are now to where they want to be? Now, maybe you've got some offers that are out there, you're testing them. You might have some people who are signing up with you for certain ones. Most people I've worked with have had a variety of things that they're doing. Some of them are not helping them grow. They literally are the boulders or the rocks holding them down, holding them back, and not helping them to progress. So think about that. What would change for you if you had an offer so powerful that people leaned in? They're like, wow, this is exactly what I need, and I'm in 100%. Now that happens as well when you're positioned in the right place. It's not just about the offer. It's definitely not about price. That is part of, the offer strategy. Obviously, we always need a price, but it's so much more about it being the right fit. Now, once again, I've done many episodes on this, so please go back through the podcast and pull out some of the ones where I've been talking about your offer and have a listen. There are some really great episodes. You won't have to go looking very far. I love to talk about it. We'll talk about it forever. But that's it. So there you go. I hope that that's motivated you to start thinking about your business differently, your side job, how that's funding you right now. And when you get these first 3 steps done, it'll be surprising to you how quickly you can transition from having the side job to actually just being able to clear your diary and focus on your business as the only thing that you need to focus on. That's it from me. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here, same time, same place, next week. Bye for now.